Hello, Vera. It's lovely to talk to you today on this lovely sunny afternoon. You have a show called Don't Wait for Me, which is a bilingual award-winning production. So, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, hello. Nice to meet you and to
You
speak
too.
with you. We are really happy to share this story in Edinburgh. It is a story about what home really means. And it is like little bit personal story, but almost universal story
Hmm.
about our houses, about our home. What does home really mean? What is it? Your country? Is it your language? Maybe. Is it your family? Is it your friends? Is it your job? Is it your, I don't know, some hobbies or
Yeah.
something? What makes you feel home? And can you lose really your home? Because now, in nowadays, sadly, a lot of tragical moments comes, and a lot of people have to move and lose their houses.
Mm.
And it is interesting because in English, like in different languages, also you have house and home. It is not the same thing. House like a building, and
Mm.
home like everything that you carry on with you, and everything that you keep with you, and nobody can take it from you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
And,
concept, isn't it, rather than a construction, rather than a building. Yeah. Okay.
and
And
also
and
it's like a puppet show
yeah.
with video mapping, and
Hmm.
it's a poetical world where we imagine that houses flies away every night with their owner inside. So
Oh,
when
wow.
you when you wake up, you see another view from your window, and it's nice. So it's like the way of living to be
Mhm.
open for the world that is surrounding you. And one day, one house leaves without its owner,
Yeah.
and then meet a lot of different characters that have different problems with
Mhm.
their homes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Maybe it's too little, maybe it's too large,
Yeah.
maybe not really home, maybe it's time to change. So,
Mm.
like invitation also to traveling,
Uh-huh.
discover the world, and not be afraid, even if you don't understand something.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Just open your heart and listen to the emotions,
Yeah.
because the emotions they don't have like borders. They
Yeah.
don't have languages. If
Exactly.
you are
Yeah.
sad, you are sad at the same way in France, in Scotland, in
Yeah. These are incredible concepts. The idea of the home leaving rather than the person leaving the home. They sound quite adult concepts. People quite often think, oh, puppet show, Punch and Judy, children sitting on the floor. So would this appeal to adult audiences as well, do you think?
Yes, it's a great thing with this show because firstly, I thought about little ones, how to tell them, don't be afraid, it will be wonderful journey, your life. And then I told myself that children never comes alone in the theater. They
Yeah.
never decide even what they will see, or maybe some wishes, but it's like adults that decide to come. So they're here, and we need to welcome them also.
Mm.
And it's wonderful because adults they like find out their child, inner child, and they oftenly cries with a lot of tears after the performance, or like touched, but also laughing. So
Yeah.
because when we speak about home and house, everyone has his or her own story with it. Even if you lived whole life in the very same place, you have a story. So it's somehow touches adults and children's, but not in
Mhm.
the same way.
Of
So,
course, yeah. We have, this is a relatively new genre of writing as well, isn't it? If we think about screenwriting as well as script writing, we have a level of script and a level of humour aimed at younger viewers and a completely different level that would just go over the heads of the children, but the parents would be laughing. We aren't now saying, this is children's theatre, this is a children's film. No, well, let's be clever with it. Let's bring everybody in. Let's have a different level of the story that will appeal to somebody else. That sounds amazing. And where are you playing? What are your dates and times?
we play in French Institute. We have a
Mhm.
part, or we like a part of French Showcase, and it is at 11
Mhm.
morning every day except Mondays, and till 23 August.
Okay,
So
all the way through then. You're going to need a holiday when you're finished. Okay. If I can, you mentioned that it's bilingual. So what languages do your characters speak?
it depends where we play this show
Mhm.
because originally the show is in French and Russian because my another language is Russian.
Mhm.
I moved in France when I was 20, so I have like two houses. That's
Yeah.
why it's a little
Yeah.
bit of story. And then we were lucky to have a lot of journey with this show. So we have one version French and Serbian, French and Bulgarian, and French and English. So
Okay.
French English version that we play here in Edinburgh.
Wait.
In French, there is no neutral, for
Mm.
example. It speaks
Mm.
a lot about the construction and way of thinking. So we respect and we are really curious oftenly about the languages when we
Yeah, of
play the
course.
show outside. And we have so the third language that comes in the show. It's like flying words.
Mm.
Not everything is translated, but just like a key phrases
Mm-hmm.
to really help to understand if you don't speak French and if you don't speak English, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
We played like 10 days ago, we played in South Korea.
Uh-huh.
So I played in French, English, little bit of Korean that I
Yeah.
could learn during our stay, and this flying board that projected with video mapping
Yeah.
where we want was in Korean. So it's like a mixing languages. Dear public, maybe you will not understand every word,
Yeah.
but don't be afraid of it. It
Yeah.
is okay. It is normal that you don't understand a word
Yeah.
because you will be able to imagine what is happening,
Yeah.
what the characters are talking really about, and you have like a freedom to interpret the story by your own way. And also, I think I had this experience a lot of times when you are surrounded by language that you cannot understand. You have an amazing ability that comes. You see a lot of other things like body language, like really tiny things like moving of eyes of the person
Yeah.
or little smile or even the way of breathe in or breathe out of the person
Yeah.
that in
Everything,
front of
isn't it? Yeah. It's facial expression, body language, as you mentioned, and even tone of voice. So, yeah, audience, I assume in your case, certainly, your experience, they can understand if the character is angry or if the character is sad or if the emotions will come across not only from the language but also from what the audience is seeing. Yes, partly if they can understand the words, but the visual as well is equally important.
Yeah, and also in English, because every language has its own melody,
Mm,
musicality. Like
exactly.
when I play in English and French, it's more English than French in this
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
In France, it's more French and
Yeah.
a little bit of Russian, and here it's like English version, and it's amazing because it's like the same character, the same
Mm,
voice
mhm,
of character because there are like four characters speaking
mm,
and different voices, my voice and four different,
yeah.
and but they are not the same.
Yeah.
Every language gives something interesting,
Has its own nuance. Yeah. Yeah.
something
It
new.
just fascinates me. Yeah, completely. Do you think so? Obviously, you have experienced this multilingual production, multilingual piece. Do you think larger, broader audiences are ready for this kind of thing? Not suggesting that your piece is completely different or it is innovative, but it's not strange as in stranger. We seem to be embracing new languages in terms of screen. So if we look at the huge streaming platforms, for example, there's recently been a big change towards original version TV series, films maybe that are dubbed or that you can choose. You can change the settings, you can put the dubbed language or original version, and then you can have subtitles. Do you think theatre audiences on a larger scale are ready for that kind of thing in theatre? If they're not, do you think they should be? Do you think there's anything that we could do to help theatre audiences feel more comfortable watching pieces in a language that they perhaps aren't comfortable in?
A very good question. I think it's something personal. As for me, for example, I prefer not to have subtitles when I look the show for adults because oftenly it's like up or in one side, and my eyes and my attention is constantly still away from the action on
It's
stage.
distracting. Yeah.
And really, as for me, I prefer to miss some words, but be with the actors or puppeteers. It depends what the show is. For example, 10 days ago, I have seen one Korean production in Korea. In Korean, I don't speak Korean at all, except 3 words maybe. Yeah. And just our translator told us a little bit the story, what will it be about. And it was enough for me to know what about will be this show is without the words, because I understand everything. I was laughing, I was touched by it, because I didn't try to understand.
It really doesn't matter. Absolutely. I think we wouldn't have that kind of fear, reticence, hesitation if we went to see a performative piece, if we went to see the ballet of Cinderella. Similarly to Romeo and Juliet, okay, maybe we already know the story, but we know exactly that this danced moment, this movement across the stage, this is exactly when this bit of the story is happening. And there are no words. So we don't have that fear of not understanding because the barrier is not there, the linguistic barrier is not there. We understand what we see and we interpret what we see in our own way. It really doesn't matter. So I think perhaps there are exceptions. Do you think in some cases there would be a piece of theatre where what's essential here is the language, the words that the actors are speaking? That's what's important. So in some cases, do you think perhaps it wouldn't work?
Yes, maybe, because for example, in France, I find that we love language, and there are a lot of texts in theater, and really, I think we artists, we need also to think if you want to open it for another people or not. Maybe not. For example, why I tell bilingual, that is like an original version. When I wrote the script, I was like thinking, okay, I speak in French a lot, and what will be important not to lose in the text?
Yeah.
So I will tell this phrase in Russian, maybe because I will have some public that can understand Russian, but don't speak French yet very good. So I care about them.
Yeah.
So okay, I don't understand, but maybe it's not really important, but this phrase is important.
Yeah, exactly.
So I will translate it by somehow, and sometimes in the show, for example, there are the things that I tell in one language and not in another, because it's not the same references.
Yeah.
Also.
Cultural differences, cultural references that wouldn't come across. Yeah.
So I think it will be beautiful that we cares about people who doesn't speak our language, and to welcome them also to share the moments, the precious moment in the dark of the theater, and share emotions. So it's like with puppets also we have this visual language. It's really a lot of things that happens visually in the theater. So for us, subtitles, it wasn't also really the solution, because
it doesn't really fit the genre. Yeah.
So how we find this balance between, okay, I will try to tell you the story in the best way I can, so you can follow it. And maybe public, like spectators, we need to tell ourselves, okay, maybe I will not understand every word, but I will just leave myself to follow the journey, this road of these emotions of performance and energy.
Yeah, and just sit with it and not worry about, do I understand that word? Am I bilingual enough? Am I qualified enough in that language? It doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter. Just go with what you're watching and enjoy what you're watching. Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't exist public.
Yeah.
because if we don't have public, we'll find our way in the theater, but it will come from both sides.
Yeah. I would imagine as well for you, it must be lovely to be a company who opens the door to people who are not familiar with either puppet shows or multilingual shows, because once they've been to see your show, you've opened the door and they may not be quite as frightened of this idea as they were before they came through your door. And think, oh, actually, that was beautiful, that was lovely. And now you're encouraging them to go and try it again, try something, yeah,
I
try something new.
But it's so nice that you speak about the fear, because when I played in France a lot, not abroad, but in France a lot, when suddenly I speak another language, little children like 4 years old, 5 years old, they are like, what?
Huh?
What is
Recoiling, yes, yeah,
I feel their fear,
yeah,
and then it's the laugh qui vient,
yeah,
that comes. Sorry, they are laughing because they don't understand. So it is funny, and then sometimes they try to repeat the words,
yeah,
and sometimes they understand something, and
yeah.
they tell you, "Oh, okay, I, of course, I didn't understand,
That's that word.
but
Yeah,
I had impressions that I understood something." And
yeah,
the same thing. I had this feedback from adults also. Okay, I don't speak. I speak only French, but I had this impression that I did understand
yeah.
that you were talking about. So,
Which is
and
wonderful, isn't it? It's wonderful. It surpasses this linguistic barrier. Yeah. Well, lovely. Thank you very much. It's been really wonderful talking to you today. I would more than happily stay and chat about this for ages. I'm fascinated by this particular topic. I love all of the different arms there are of this conversation. Let's see how it develops. Can you remind us just one more time? Where are you playing? What's the time of the show? What are the dates of the show?
yes, you're very welcome, and I will be happy to see you also in French Institute for Scotland,
Uh-huh.
in the really heart of Edinburgh, at 11 every day except Mondays.
Thank you ever so
But
much, Vera. Okay.
thank you. Bye.
Bye. Lovely.